Okay, can we call the meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, good evening and welcome to the February regular meeting of the Greencastle School Board. Can everyone hear through this okay? No? Nope. How about now? Better? Okay, thanks. Okay, first item on the agenda is adjustments to the agenda. Mr. Gibney.
Yes, so have two resolutions to add to the agenda this month. First one, a board resolution supporting public school teachers, staff, and administrators' vaccinations. That'll be 8D. And then as 8E, I have a resolution opposing the establishment of education scholarship accounts and the expansion of the Indiana School Choice Scholarship Program. That'll be 8E.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the adjustments to the agenda?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is public comments regarding agenda items. Does anyone have any public comments? We have one. Hello.
Not yet.
Don't think our mic's working, Corey.
Corey, I don't know.
There we go.
There you go. Okay. So I would like to make comments on the board resolutions that Mr. Gibney just added to the agenda. I just want to thank you for embracing the opportunity to give pass the board resolutions. I'll talk about 8D first. Basically, the resolution would send a message to the legislators regarding the critical need to move public school employees to the priority list for vaccinations, because unfortunately, we all know the legislature has pretty much thrown us all to the side, and we're just supposed to take what they, give us. And then moving on to House Bill 1005, which is 8E on the agenda, that is an awful bill that will potentially move $202 million of public education funding to private vouchers and unsupervised homeschools. So they're both awful. And so finally, on Wednesday of this week, we are asking everyone for their support to wear black to represent the darkness facing Indiana public education, given these bills and how things are going. So now they're switching houses, so there'll still be time to contact your legislatures. So I'd just like to say thank you for that consideration.
Well, thank you. Any other comments? Okay, moving on. Next item on the agenda is recognitions.
We want to start with Mrs. Johnson.
If the parents want to come down closer and get pictures, you're welcome to.
Red Pass Student of the Month is Raylan Brewer. She is a first grader in Mrs. Crone's room. She was nominated by an instructional assistant, Mrs. Peters. Mrs. Peters nominated Raylan because she is always ready to work. She listens to instructions well the first time. She is respectful to me, Mrs. Peters, and her classmates. She tries her best at everything she does. And one of the things that we really consider to be such a strong Red Path star is she is so kind in her actions and words. So our Student of the Month is Raylan Brewer. Congratulations.
Good job.
last month, my student of the month had to go home, and unfortunately tonight, this is my December student of the month. I plan to bring her here next month when she's able to be here. But our current student of the month is Mr. Cray Ames. Cray is a second grader in Mrs. Carr's classroom, and Mrs. Carr nominated him, saying, "Cray is a great second grader and an incredible boy. He works hard in school, but even more importantly, he is always kind and thoughtful. He greets everyone with a pleasant good morning, and his manners are nonstop all day. Cray recognizes when someone hasn't been chosen in a game, and that will be the person that he will choose next. He follows directions the first time they are given in class and does his best work. Whether it's a spelling game or a math test, I know he will try his best. Participating in class is another strong suit of Cray's. He asks questions and shares comments that relate to the topic, and he sets a good example for his classmates with the good choices he makes every day. I'm so happy that I'm able to be a part of Cray's learning and growing. Cray Ames is an amazing young man." Cray Ames.
Hello. So representing TZ as our student of the month is Lucas Fry, and Lucas is a 5th grader in Mrs. Hopper's classroom. Lucas, you are taller than me all of a sudden. When did that? This just happened. You had a spurt. So I want to tell you a little bit about what Mrs. Hopper said about you. So Lucas has worked so hard this year. He is a fun kid to be around and is always willing to share his strengths with others. His knowledge about our presidents and historical eras has been especially impressive and helpful in our classroom discussions lately, and I am so very proud of him. So that's from Mrs. Hopper. So congratulations, Lucas.
Good evening. Our middle school student of the month, Kaylee Schwab, could not be here tonight, but I let her mom know that I would read everything about her and totally embarrass her in front of everyone that's not around her, and then do the same thing at a lunch coming up, so in front of her peers. Kaylee has often been okay with being in the background and not being in the spotlight. However, recently, she has become much more outgoing in class and took on a solo this year for the solo and ensemble contest. She asked lots of questions, practiced diligently, and ended up having a wonderful performance. So congratulations to Kaylee Schwab.
So the high school would like to recognize Paige Kaiser. Mrs. Mann is the one who nominated her. Mrs. Mann says that Paige is a classy, intelligent young woman who is focused on attending the best Indiana university in our state, Purdue. She has been accepted and is looking forward to a future of being a Boilermaker. She works diligently to get her tasks completed. She adds great insights to issues we discussed in statistics and probability. She's an outstanding worker and works with others in accepting responsibility. She sees great things for this tiger cub in her near future. That's by Mrs. Mann.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is the consent agenda, which consists of the meeting minutes from January 25th, 2021, the regular board meeting minutes, and the annual Board of Finance meeting minutes from January 25th, 2021.
I'll make a motion
And-
to be approved.
Not there yet. And the allowance of claims and financial report.
Yep, Mrs. Gardner, would you be able to present the claims?
In January of 2021, we had 3 payrolls, January 1st, January 15th, and January 29th. The January 1st payroll was $384,931.17. With that, the accounts payable, which includes the payroll taxes and retirement total, is $109,245.98. The January 15th payroll was $383,971.78. The accounts payable for that payroll was $109,747.85. And our third payroll on January 29th, 2021 was $425.20. The accounts payable for that payroll was $134,281.89. Next in your packet, you will find a list of prepaids for January 2021. And you'll see on there were several debt services and pension bond payments were made for a total of $2,077,605.74. Do you have any questions on that?
It's a larger number because we made our lease rental payment, so we had our debt. So that's 1.6 of that 2.2, just to make sure you understand that.
Okay. Next in your packet is the list of claims for today, February 22nd, 2021. And the total of the claims is $184,011.05. Are there any questions?
I do not have any.
Okay. Next in your packet, on the financial report, you will find the funds report. The balance in the education fund at the end of January 2021 is $685,415.44. The balance in the operation fund at the end of January 2021 is $1,181,657.06. And then if you turn to the last page of the fund report, you will see the balance of all the funds at the end of January is $5,152,585.34. And next in your packet, you will find the depository and bank statement for January 2021. Bank number 6 is $522,250.44. Bank number 2, $3,947,907.25. Bank number 9, $300,088.20. Bank 10, $551,827.69. And then for the outstanding checks, in bank number 10 is $133,665.89. Bank 6 and bank 9 have 0 outstanding. Bank number 2 has $35,822.35. And the total of all the banks minus the outstanding checks at the end of January 2021 is $5,152,585.34. And then if you look back at your fund report on that last page, you will see that the statement of the banks is in balance with the fund report. And I'd like to submit these for approval.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, and the last item on the consent agenda are personnel reports. Personnel reports 1 and 2, part 1 and 2. And those are both on the webpage and on the door to central office. So can I get an approval or a motion to approve the consent agenda this evening?
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion or questions? Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item is on the agenda is reports, and the first one being from the Assistant Superintendent, Dr. French.
Hi, good evening. So normally I try to provide an informative update, but tonight there are just a couple of really cool things happening with our teachers, so I wanted to highlight and celebrate those. So first of all, I would like to recognize Mr. Doug Hudson and Ms. Jen Finnerty. They presented at a statewide conference recently, the Hoosier Association of Science Teachers, and their presentation was on designing and programming robots. And it was very well received, so I just wanted to make sure that we highlighted and recognize them for their presentation. Also, each year the Lilly Endowment provides 100 teachers in the state of Indiana with a grant, and this year our very own Kristen Hamilton is one of the recipients. And that means that this summer Kristen will have the opportunity to travel to Italy and explore historical landmarks and works of art from Italian mathematicians and scientists, and then she'll transfer those experiences into her classroom by incorporating her experiences and her information that she gathered into her lesson plans for her students. So we're just really excited that she has this opportunity to explore, and just our teachers don't get enough of these great things, just kind of perks, and so we're just really proud of her, and congratulations, Kristen.
Yeah. Thanks, Dr. French. Next is the superintendent's report. Mr. Gibney.
So is a trip for the superintendent also included in that? So I just have a couple of brief items this month. First is the second count day for the school year. Took place in February, and we were at 1,704 students after some data cleanup. So that's down 13 from this past fall. So they will adjust our funding come November and December. Next is we will certainly honor him at a future meeting, but Brock Carrington finished as a state runner-up for our Greencastle wrestling program, and that was an amazing and outstanding accomplishment. And of all years, to be able to make it that far and to finish so strong, we're really proud of him, and just the way he, not only did he persevere, but also the way he represented himself, our school, and our community. So certainly appreciate that, and we'll recognize him at a future meeting. And then on the personnel report, just a longtime educator from Greencastle Schools with her retiring at the end of the year, Mrs. Catherine Dory, and also a cafeteria assistant, Mrs. Morgan. Just like to thank them for serving the students of our school and just being good members of our staff. That's all I have for this month.
Okay, thank you. Next item is old business, and there is no old business. So that takes us to new business, and the first item is an approval request for an authorization to advertise notice of a public hearing for building projects.
Yeah, so as you recall, this past fall, I mentioned to the board that I wanted to work with an architect to conduct a study of our facilities and our buildings in working towards a building project in our school system. We have things that are at the end of life, maintenance items that need to be addressed, safety, security, educational programming type items, and this is the next step to continue to move that process forward in allowing us to replace some of that debt to take care of some of those needs. So we're seeking approval to advertise the notice of the public hearing, and that will be the March 8th and the March 15th meeting. So just seeking board approval to move forward with the notice of those hearings.
I make a motion that we give notice for those meetings.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is an approval request for 2021 and 22 special services contracts, one being for occupational therapy services with Michelle Reilly, and the other being physical therapy services with Cornerstone Pediatric Rehabilitation Incorporated.
Yep, so the hourly rate and hours per week was included in your board packet, and we're just seeking to continue with those relationships into next school year, and so I asked the board to provide approval for those contracts.
Kim, are they working out pretty well? Okay, thank you. Great. Good.
These are difficult to find professionals.
Mm-hmm. Okay, can I get a motion to approve the contracts?
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is the first reading of updated job descriptions for maintenance, custodial services, and food services.
Yeah, so I'm engaged in a district or corporation-wide job description update. We just want to seek greater clarity to responsibilities and who's in charge of what, as much to communicate district-wide as anything. And so these are the first employee groups of eventually completing every employee group in the corporation, myself included. And so we're not requesting any action be taken this month. These are just for your first reading. I'll bring them for a second reading and adoption next month.
Okay.
Make a motion to be approved.
Sorry?
We're just reading them this time.
We don't.
Thanks for doing it, Jeff. It's
Just
nice
don't
to
need
know
work on, okay.
who's doing what. And
That'll work. Okay, last couple items on the agenda is an approval for the board resolution for public school teacher, staff, and administrators vaccinations.
Yeah, so I won't go into great detail because Mrs. Hamilton did a great job of covering it, but essentially this is a letter of support to Governor Holcomb and the legislature. We need to prioritize our school staff. We've been open and remained open for the most part from the beginning of the school year, and we believe it's important to prioritize our school staff. So just asking the board to support this resolution, of course, which will provide to Senator Bray, Representative Baird, Senator Crane, any other legislative leaders in our area, and then certainly state.
Now, are these two resolutions something we actually need to vote on? And
I'm asking you,
Okay.
to vote on them and approve them. So that would be the first one.
Right. Okay, can I get a motion to approve the board resolution concerning administrator and staff teacher vaccinations.
I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item is an approval request for the resolution opposing the establishment of educational scholarship accounts and the expansion of the Indiana School Choice Scholarship Program.
Yeah, so these are two really bad bills, as Mrs. Hamilton has mentioned. House Bill 1005 has cleared the House and will make its way into the Senate. But essentially, you heard the governor tout additional funds for public schools. Well, the expansion of school choice will eat into a lot of those dollars. Our public school students make up 90% of the student population in Indiana. And it's going to be extremely difficult to drive additional dollars to the classroom if they're expanding school choice. And with school choice and vouchers, those schools aren't held to the same standard of accountability. It's just not a good way to spend our taxpayer dollars. And then the second item is the establishment of the education scholarship accounts. And again, it'll take money out of our public tax dollars out of our public schools, and again, many of these dollars will flow to private homeschools, and again, there's not much monitoring of how those dollars are spent. So again, asking the board to support this resolution, which we can provide to those same groups of people.
I just wanted to ask the question real quick, and so, because especially if somebody was to do this and these funds go, but then the child comes back to the school, that money doesn't come back, right?
Yeah, so the money in our state, the money follows the kid, and that is one of the concerns and questions is if that money in its entirety goes to the kids, or excuse me, follows that student to the family, and then, say for instance to a homeschool, and then they all of a sudden want to come back mid-semester, we're not going to see those funds, and so it is going to make things tricky and difficult for us because we build our budgets based on
Right.
an expected allotment of funding.
Yeah, no, that's really all. I guess the only other, I don't know, if we need to make a motion first, or if I'm free to go ahead and comment now, or.
But I just want to thank Jeff. We asked him to let us know when things like this came up so we could contact our representatives, and he makes sure we know, so we then contact a representative. So I just wanted to thank him for that.
Is there a way, Jeff, that we can put these, much like Kristen and some of the other Teachers Association presidents did in the county, can we put these in as letters to the editor in a banner or something to just
Yes, absolutely. I can share these with them, or draw up basically put it in a letter of support. Absolutely.
Okay, because they're two very important points.
Yeah, I just think the lack of the potential lack of transparency is really dangerous too. As we take, schools are already strapped, man, and just as we, potentially take funds away and take it to someplace that maybe isn't as accountable. I mean, that's just dangerous with tax dollars, and I don't really see how it helps public education at all. So let's just.
No, in fact, schools with the higher levels of poverty are actually getting hit the hardest based on the complexity index. So coming out of the pandemic, is that really a time to take away more tax dollars from those students in schools that need it the most? Probably not, in my opinion. So these are just bad bills.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve this second resolution?
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is other business. Does anyone have any other business?
I have just a couple of questions. Jeff, the governor talked about giving more masks and testing to local schools who apply. Did we do that?
Yeah, so the Binax kits and masks, we take any and all supplies that they're willing to give us because those things come in handy. We don't have the capacity to administer those tests here locally. It placed too much of a burden on our staff, but we did request them, and we'll be sharing those or passing those off to the health department. But certainly then distributing masks, absolutely.
And then this is just kind of a random thought for the future, next year, the year after. Greencastle is kind of an interesting group when it comes to snow days. And a lot of Greencastle was pretty clear. I understand the safety issue out in the country. We need to make sure those kids are safe, but maybe sometime we can look at snow routes or something like that. 4 days is a lot to be gone, but we want to make sure everybody's safe at the same time. So.
Yeah, absolutely. We can look into that, and I think you'll see people make changes to e-learning moving forwards too, and just trying to maintain the continuity the best we can, but also provide an equitable experience if we did have kids in person versus those at home. But yeah, that's absolutely something we can look into and work with the association on.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw out, I didn't comment when we were discussing the vaccine, but we've said it before, and I just want to say again, I thank everybody, the teachers and staff, and just everybody. I think we've done a really good job, with a really tough task, and so I hope that there's some ears opening up to the need to do that. The talk about opening schools and doing that widespread across the country is something that just gets talked about, and it can only help to do that. And so so just, one, I hope it happens, and two, I hope everybody, I hope people are talking about it, and it's not just us, but legislators, and to just reach out and talk to anybody you can to get the word out, because it's important, and it's just going to be a slow go without it, in my opinion.
Indeed. Anyone else? Okay, no other business. Last on the agenda is adjournment. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second?
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Thank you all for coming this evening, and be careful going home. See you in a couple of weeks.